and welcome to Nelson News. We are excited to bring you the latest news and feature stories here in the fall 2025 semester. I'm James Carnell.
And I'm Amy Trober. Nelson News is a collaborative effort between Nelson University's Alumni Office and our digital media arts students right here on the Waxahachie campus.
We've got a packed lineup today and everything from campus updates to exclusive interviews. So let's dive right in.
Kicking off our show is Legacy Lions series, highlighting the lasting impact of Nelson University's distinguished friends, faculty, and alumni. Today, communication instructor Ben Fitton sits down with the Dean of Nelson Graduate School, Dr. Bruce Rosdahl, to tell us about his story and about how he came to Nelson University.
Dr. Rosdahl, thank you so much for joining us here today. You have been at this institution for 25 years now. Can you tell us a little bit about what initially brought you to Nelson, then called SAGU?
Absolutely. We were pastoring in San Antonio and also working at one of our other institutions, which was called Latin American Bible Institute. And while there, I really felt a burden to continue on in my education to teach. So I moved up north to seminary. And while I was here is when then Southwestern, now Nelson, was going through a presidential change. And what happened is some professors from here let me know that there was a need. And so what I did is I applied and was very excited because they were looking for a professor in the Bible theology area for preaching and applied. I was so excited when I got the job.
You were already heavily involved with the Assemblies of God at that time, yes? Tell me a little bit about that evolution in your life. What brought you into communion with the Assemblies?
Absolutely, because I wasn't raised in a Christian home. So I got saved after high school. And part of that was through the Christian music scene. And that was a big influence on me. And I went to a discipleship school in East Texas through the influence of a kind of a well-known Christian musician at that point. And it was at a discipleship school that I gave my heart to the Lord. I think just the first time really hearing and understanding what the gospel was and what it meant to surrender your life. And to be honest, at that moment, I felt a calling in the ministry immediately. So I worked with that parachurch ministry for a number of years and felt a real need to go to Bible school at that point. There's a long back history to that, but to be honest, part of it was some of what we're involved with was not really healthy. And what I discovered in practice is that bad theology really hurts people. It really affects the way we view God and the way we view ourselves. And so Bible school, where I went up at Northwest, at that point it was called Northwest College, now Northwest University, was a major influence on me. It was my first contact with the AG. But those classes were instrumental for me just thinking through good theology, biblical authority, and it became crucial in really me understanding really a passion for theology, and to be honest, why I went on to teach theology. It wasn't just an academic thing for me. It really was, I saw what bad theology did to people, what we experienced, and so even today when I teach theology, it really is more from a pastoral side, knowing just how crucial it is what we think about God. So that's what contacted us with the AG, and from there then we've been with the AG ever since at that point.
You've been here 25 years. Can you tell me about sort of the evolution of what you've taught, as well as like sort of the changes that have happened around the school?
Sure, there actually has been evolution. I started off as preaching prof, and then it was actually two of us that were doing that, and that prof actually ended up kind of doing his doctorate in that area. So it was good for me to hand it over to him, and I kind of stepped into more of church history, which is kind of really my love and passion, and teaching theology as well. And then we had somebody come on who that was their passion, and so then I moved strictly more into theology. So there actually has been some evolving there. But I would say at Nelson, things have certainly grown. We're seeing the number of programs, professors, what we offer. But I'd almost like to answer the question, almost if I could, not necessarily negative, but the opposite. What hasn't changed since I've been here? And this is something that I didn't know about Southwestern then or Nelson now, was how much missions is really so much of what we do. And it doesn't matter what your major is, it really doesn't. It's the Great Commission really permeates our perspective about whatever your calling is, whether it's vocational ministry or any other capacity, they're all under the umbrella of we want to do it for the honor and glory of God. And I have greatly appreciated the fact that even as a new professor coming in, as an AG person coming in, to have that perspective just permeate whatever we do, that's one thing I love about Nelson.
Dr. Rosdahl, thank you so much for giving us some of your personal history. This is the first half of this interview, and we're going to pick this up at a later time.
Sounds good.
Now it's time for our Eye on Athletes segment. Our look at the people and programs making an impact across Nelson University athletics.
And today's spotlight might not involve a ball or a scoreboard, but it's full of school spirit. We're talking about the brand new Mighty Lions Marching Band. Let's hear from the Director of Athletic Bands, Elizabeth De La Rosa, for the Inside Scoop.
Nelson alum Elizabeth De La Rosa has returned to Nelson University, and for the first time in the school's history, Nelson University has a marching band under her leadership.
Well, my background is music education. I got an undergrad degree in music education from Texas State University, and that really essentially prepared me to do everything from elementary music teaching to collegiate level. It really opened my horizons to, be able to plug into a lot of different branches of music.
With this new marching band under De La Rosa's leadership, she has great expectations out of these students in developing their skills along with what they can bring to the music program.
So for the marching band, we're really, really excited. We get to make this the best thing that it can be. It's almost like I was handed an infant and I'm really having to, take care of it. And the vision is strive for excellence, build a culture of excellence. And that is something that is at the core of our program. How can we not only help campus culture, but also just become a part of it? I mean, I can see in the football games that it goes up a different level, the hype, the pep. It's just, and I'm really happy that we get to be a part of that. And that these students also get an opportunity to continue to develop their musical development, because it's something that even if they are not music majors, a lot of them come from a band background or they come from a music background, and this program allows them the opportunity to continue that and to get involved, make connections. They don't have to be the perfect musician. However, they can still have that connection and build those relationships with other students that also come from those backgrounds.
Some things to look forward to in the future are a new show every year, new uniforms, and much more. This has been Eye on Athletes with Zy Wood of Nelson News.
Wow, it's great to hear about the progress of our Mighty Lions Marching Band and the great work from Mrs. De La Rosa.
Oh my goodness, listen, I was there at their very first performance for halftime at our first home game for football. And it was so exciting. I'm a band mom from high school days, so I remember just sitting in the crowd, and normally at halftime everybody leaves, but not this time. No, everybody was there cheering on the band, supporting them, and they did such a phenomenal job. I was so proud. It was a great, great time.
It's a huge step for Nelson University and our music program. Very excited to see how far this is going to go, and I believe it's going to really take off.
I think so too. Up next, we will hand it over to producer Ben Fitton for our game show that covers all things Nelson, King of the Jungle.
Hello and welcome back to our Nelson News game show, King of the Jungle. I am your host, Ben Fenton. Our contestants here today are James Lautzenheiser, Emily LeBlanc, and Kenzie Carnell. Welcome. So each round, contestants will be asked a question. On their whiteboard, they must choose the correct answer. These are multiple choice questions. The person who gets the question correct earns a point. And after 5 rounds, after 5 questions, the contestant with the most points wins. So our first question today is, what year did President Kermit Bridges graduate from Nelson University, then called SAGC? Is it 1987, B, 1982, C, 1979, or D, 1985? What year did President Bridges graduate from Nelson University, then called SAGC? I will have your answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn around your whiteboard. We have B, 1982, D, 1985, or D, 1985. The correct answer is B, 1982 is correct. Jimmy has got 1 point. We have 1 point. Next question, which of these schools was not one of the 3 original schools that merged to create what would become Nelson University? Which of these schools was not one of the 3 schools that merged to create what would become Nelson University? Option A, Southwestern Bible School. B, Shield of Faith Bible Institute. C, Trinity University. Or D, Southern Bible Institute. Good group of options there. I will have your answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is A, C, C, C. Trinity University is correct. So far, as of the last question, everybody has 1 point. Question number 3. The first school that would become Nelson University was founded in 1927, coming up on our centennial, but in what city? Was it A, Topeka, Kansas? Was it B, Enid, Oklahoma? Was it C, Waxahachie, Texas? Or D, Hot Springs, Arkansas? Couple different options here. Topeka, Kansas, Enid, Oklahoma, Waxahachie, Texas, or Hot Springs, Arkansas. I will have your answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is, in fact, B, Enid, Oklahoma. So Emily and Kinsey both get an additional point there. I believe they now have 2 points each. Question number 4. Who was president before Dr. Kermit Bridges? Maybe I should clarify, directly before Dr. Kermit Bridges. Directly preceding Dr. Kermit Bridges. Who was president? Our choices are Hugh P. Jeter. Option B, Claude Kendrick. Option C, Delmer Gwines. Or option D, Darrell Teeter. Who was president before Dr. Kermit Bridges? I will have your answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is, in fact, C. Delmer Gwines was the president directly before Dr. Kermit Bridges. So I think that seals the fate of Jimmy. But Emily and Kinsey both have 3 points. So they are tied. There is 1 more question left. That question is, the backup question is, and it's not on the screen, how many languages was P.C. Nelson proficient in? He was a multilinguist, and I know how many languages he spoke. I'll give you a clue. It's kind of a lot. How many languages, and I will give the point to the person who is closest to this number. How many languages was P.C. Nelson proficient in? You can just write the number on your whiteboard, and that answer will happen in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have, okay, Jimmy says 6, Emily says 8, Kinsey's bold with 27, and her boldness pays off. The answer is 25.
Okay, so it's close.
Yes, the man was an extreme linguist. He studied Hebrew and Greek and Latin, as well as all the modern languages as well. He was proficient in 25 languages. You overshot it a little bit. I will give it to you. You're only 2 points away. We would like to thank you again for joining us for this round of King of the Jungle. Congratulations, Kinsey, on your win. We are extending an invitation for you to come back, because all our winners get to come back and participate in the final game show, next show. So we hope you will accept our invitation. Thank you so much for joining us. James and Amy, back to you.
We're joined today in the studio by the Dean of Music and Communication Arts, Dr. Tyrone Block, here to tell us about his role in future prospects at Nelson University. Well, tell us a little bit about what your role as Dean involves around here.
Well, it really kind of is a role that supports our faculty, our academic programs, oversee curriculum and accreditation and academic policy, and work on developing new programs, work closely with the department chairs and make sure that the degrees and all the things with the students are really taken care of.
So you spent many years in higher education. What are some of the things you love most?
I think the one thing that I really love is seeing the transformation with students, watching them as they come in, watching them gain confidence, find direction, really step into what God has called them to do and called them to be. And I'm really excited to watch this journey and to be a part of the journey with them. I can recall several students who came in and they struggled with, what is it that God has called me to be? I had one student who was part of the music, but discovered that psychology is where she was supposed to be. And to have professors who are behind you and understanding this is what God called you to do, not having so much ownership, but to allow them to blossom and to be those things. So seeing that transformation, maybe it's from one degree to another degree, maybe it's from what they thought they were supposed to do in life, but where they end up. And we always know that that's where God has them. So to see this transformation take place is absolutely wonderful.
I love that so much. And it is so exciting to see students come in and grow. So as you have, if you had an opportunity to talk to a prospective student or a student that's coming in fresh, brand new, what kind of advice would you give them to just make the most of their time at Nelson University?
Well, the big thing is you have to take ownership of your education. And not only take ownership of your education, but take ownership of your spiritual formation. They both go hand in hand. And so as professors, as teachers or educators, administrators, what we want to do is allow the students to make those choices. Not just kind of go through the system and say, oh, I have a degree, but to really own that degree, own every aspect of it. It's going to be hard to go through the rigor and to understand it's not just about the degree, but it's what you become after. So it's using the university, and using may not be the best word, but I want to use it. It's using the degree as a vehicle to get to where God has called you to be, and allow the spiritual formation to be a part of it. So it's not that you're just gaining book knowledge, but you're really going deep into the Word of God. So you're walking out as a complete person, not just education, but also spiritual formation.
What are you most excited about for Nelson's future? What are the things that really get you up every morning and making that drive in, coming in, listening to your music, but what are you excited about?
I'm really, really, really excited to see how God is working on this campus. You just alluded to it, and it really does get me up in the morning, and to see what is God doing. How is God going to show up, not just in the classroom, but in different relationships, in chapel, even in board meetings, we've seen that, it's just great to be a part of that and to see God just moving all over this campus and students' lives, in our faculty's lives, in our administration.
That's so great. Well, Dr. Block, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you, and I'm looking forward to seeing this product. I'm looking forward to seeing how God will use what is happening here to affect the world.
Absolutely, and we are so thankful for all that you do. You are very much loved on this campus, and I speak for a lot of people, I believe. So,
well, I want to say the love is reciprocated.
Well, thank you, and I'm really excited to see what comes next.
All right, before we go, we have a special shout-out segment on today's episode. We are very excited to highlight some of our alumni who are doing amazing things out in the field.
That's right, and we have not one but two familiar faces who are making a huge impact on education locally right here in Waxahachie. After 24 years in education and 14 of those years in administration, Dr. Ryan Cavazos has officially been named the principal of Waxahachie Global High School.
And get this, right alongside Dr. Cavazos, another Nelson alum, Karina White, has been named assistant principal at the same school.
Now that is a power duo right there. Nelson grads making such a huge impact over at Waxahachie Global High.
These Nelson grads are pouring the knowledge and skills they've developed here at Nelson right back into their community.
Congratulations to the both of you. You're proof that Nelson pride doesn't stop at graduation.
We hope you've enjoyed this latest edition of Nelson News. On behalf of myself, Amy Trober, our co-producer Ben Fenton, and the rest of our digital media arts team,
thank you so much for watching. This has been Nelson News, keeping you connected on all the wonderful things happening at Nelson University and the Waxahachie area.